Perfect. Thank you. I think the music is off now, right? Perfect. Alrighty. Here we are. We have arrived. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're here, it means you're ready for something different. You're tired of the same old approach that promises everything, delivers nothing that truly lasts. And before we dive in, I want you to know that this isn't going to be just another generic presentation telling you what you're doing wrong, what you could be doing better, what is the right way. This is going to give you, or another things, a list of things that you need to fix about yourself. This is going to be an understanding about what's really happening in your body and why everything you've tried in the past hasn't worked for you, or maybe the way that you had hoped. It's about seeing yourself in a different lens of compassion and love instead of the mean girl talk or trying to hate your way into health. Over the next hour, we're going to cover 4 things. First, why you're really here and how to get to this place that we want to be in our body. Second, the science behind what's actually happening in your body with your hormones and your nervous system. And third, what it looks like to move away from diet culture patterns into body wisdom. And finally, I'm going to share with you how you can take the next step if this resonates with you. And as a reminder, if you're not in the Circle community, I highly encourage you to join. This is where the giveaways are, the work of the implementation on what we're learning today happens. Each day I'm going live in there to help you integrate different things and help you take steps towards truly feeling at home in your body. So Kenzie's going to go ahead and drop that link in there so that you can sign up for that. If you ever are getting a message that says you need to be invited, just go and into one of the emails that I've sent you, just hit reply and say, I can't get in. I'll resend the invitation link. So we have a chat and we have a Q&A today. Use the chat to tell me what you're here and hoping to learn with. We kind of did some of that already, but if you're joining us now, tell me where you're from, why you're here, what you're hoping to learn, and then use the Q&A box to ask questions throughout the presentation. I'm not going to stop the presentation to answer questions. I will answer questions at the end. And it's also likely I go over our time. And if it does, make sure to come back and listen to the last part of the presentation because there's probably going to be tidbits there that you're going to want to hear. All right, sound good. Let's talk about why you're here. And I want to paint the picture of what I'm guessing is going to feel very familiar to you, right? You know what to do and you maybe just don't do it. This is incredibly frustrating for you. You feel like something is wrong with you, like you just can't get your shit together. You think that you're the problem. You think that I just need to try harder, or maybe you're missing some piece of very crucial information, or maybe you're missing accountability or some perfect system out there. But here's what I want you to know. You're not the problem. You also might be the woman who does everything and everything right. And she does it all really well. And she's burned out. You might be tired and you have nothing to show for it. Everything that you know on how to take care of your body isn't working. You feel lied to. You feel confused. You feel frustrated and you think, what's the point of trying so hard when nothing works? Which one are you? No guilt, no shame here. But when we identify with how we feel, we open ourselves up to receiving a solution. When your body doesn't feel like you're at home anymore in this skin, you probably wake up tired. You go to bed tired. You might crash throughout the day. Your body feels puffy and inflamed. You have brain fog. Your digestion is either completely on or completely off with bloating, discomfort, food sensitivities. Your appetite is full force or it's completely gone. You would love to eat healthier. But sometimes the thought of food just feels like ick. But in the evenings, you can't seem to fulfill yourself with anything but sugar or salt. And so you're so hungry, but yet there's no point of contentment or satiation when you are eating those foods in the evenings. You wonder why you're so hungry, and you're also questioning, is this even hunger? Could this be something else? It feels confusing. It feels like you've lost control. And when you look or feel your body, you feel like you've proven that to be true. You might be gaining weight, but it's not just about the weight. Your body simply doesn't feel like yours anymore. You want to lose weight, sure. But what you really want is to understand that weight is just a symptom. It's not the reason you feel the way you do. The weight always feels like the most obvious thing to blame. It's easy to blame because everyone sees it. And it makes you want to hide. You feel shameful about what your body looks like and feels like, and you think you've done something wrong. The thought patterns that you probably have are something like, I've been good all week, and then I blow it on the weekend. Or you'll be really good and on track for several weeks, and then something happens, like a vacation, a stressful event, schedule changes, illnesses, and it all falls apart. You can't create consistency that you really want, but here's the thing. You don't even understand what consistency actually is. You've defined consistency by being perfect, but real consistency is creating a life where you can live as the healthiest version of you and be consistent in it by your own standards and not anyone else's. And you don't even know what your own standards are because you've been following other people's diets and or standards for most of your life. You're either micromanaging every bite, every exercise routine, every step, or you're completely avoiding everything. And there's no in between. And you always think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just do this? And then there's those quiet fears inside that you probably don't say out loud. You're wondering if this is just how it is now. You're wondering if your body is really out of control, or even worse, are you out of control? You're afraid of failing at one more thing. You're curious about body wisdom, but also there's this little fear inside of you that says you'll just let yourself go even further. How could I possibly create this for me if even the experts that tell me exactly what to do can't help me? This is a classic sign of not trusting yourself. What you really want is to trust yourself. And that's what we're going to develop here. When you trust yourself, nothing is outside of your reach. Everything is within you. You're afraid you're too far gone. You've tried so many times. Why would you keep trying when you keep messing up? Or maybe you're someone who takes care of herself really well and tries so hard, but you're so tired and over it because nothing changes no matter what you do. You live in this wired and tired feeling, right? We know that feeling where we're exhausted all day, but we're still like buzzing and you can't settle down. You don't feel like sleep is productive. You toss and you turn, you're restless and your mind just won't shut up. You feel guilty for even resting outside of your sleep hours. You feel guilty after you feel guilty after eating, even when you do your best. What you really want is to eat without tracking every macronutrient or calorie or a specific plan telling you exactly what to do, but you don't know how without spiraling out of control. You just feel like you want to be a normal eater. You want energy without anxiety. You want calm without micromanaging everything. And really, you want to trust yourself and this body. And sustainability. It's sustainability. We all want sustainability, right? And you want kindness, and you want something that works with your body and not against it. And also your day-to-day life without like being at odds with the healthy habits you know you want to do, but also the grind of daily life. You really want to love yourself unconditionally, and you want your body to feel like home. So before we go any further, I just want to tell you who I am and why you should trust me. I am actually a registered nurse who works primarily in women's health, labor and delivery. I worked in postpartum, women's health clinics, and I started my own coaching business 7 years ago after my last baby, and he was a struggle with infertility. The real catalyst for this work came when I lost my mom to cancer. I was 28 and she was 47. And it's crazy because I'm reaching the age that she was first diagnosed with cancer in just a couple of months. When I lost her, and after the clarity lifted of caring for her for 5 years, I knew I wanted to do everything I could to make sure that my children didn't have to live most of their lives without me. So I set out to simply be healthier. I went and I lost some weight. I started lifting weights. And this was coming from somebody who was an emotional eater. My weight was always up and down. I was a high stress person, and I just thought that that was normal. And I also thought it was good, right? Don't not be stressed. Don't not be busy. Then something's wrong with you, right? And I always thought more was better. And once I started to make these changes in my life physically, people started to notice and ask me for help. And so what turned into a macro coaching program with workouts and telling people what to do evolved into what it is today, an embodied program to help midlife women feel at home in their bodies. I take the nursing from my science career and the functional practitioner certifications that I've done, as well as the energetic practices of my own lived experiences, somatics, and femininity, and my wisdom from coaching thousands of women to teach you and help you to embody this way of living. I know without a doubt that this works. I know with every grain and being and every cell in my body that this is the way women are meant to live in the healthiest body that feels like theirs. Because that's what it's really about, right? We have this assumption that if our bodies look a certain way or weigh a certain number, then we'll feel good. That's actually very untrue. That's what diet culture, the culture we live in, tells you. And I can tell you from experience that it never happens that way. So today I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you how to have the balance, the calm, the ease, and the feeling of good in your body. So how did we actually get here to this disoriented place in our body where our nervous systems are dysregulated, where we're confused about what to eat, where we spiral in perfectionism and micromanaging, and then we go over here to doing nothing? Let me explain this in a way that feels like relief rather than more overwhelm. That this actually isn't your fault. It was just the conditioning of diet culture, which is everywhere in the Western world. That's where we had created the problems that we have today. So diet culture is that there's a right or a wrong way to be healthy. Your body is wrong. Your body should be small. There are rules to follow. You are out of control. Do this better. You can always work harder. And you also compare. And the world we live in right now with social media and everything is accessible to us, comparison is at an all-time high. And what this does is this signals to your nervous system, we need to micromanage your food, your movement, and everything around you. We need to be in control. It's all or nothing, right? So you're in fight or flight, or you're in a freeze response. You're doing everything, or you're doing absolutely nothing. You're striving for perfectionism because you believe your results lie in being perfect. People pleasing, hypervigilance on the scale, weighing yourself every single morning and then making yourself feel good or feel bad for the rest of the day based on that number. And sabotage behaviors, starting and stopping and starting and stopping. Restriction from actually nourishing our body. Food guilt and or shame, and then constant researching for answers, which there's endless information out there. And that's probably one of the things that has just continued to drive this into where you are right now. What happens is that we feel like we need somebody to tell us what to do because we've been shown and told that the way we look and feel is wrong. And what we are doing is wrong because it's evident by how our bodies look. We should have a smaller body. We should have smooth skin. We should wear certain sizes and weigh certain numbers. And if we have these things, then we'll be more valuable. more loved, more recognized. And also, we're conditioned to follow rules and strict structure through many ways of our daily lives, and especially growing up as little girls. We were conditioned to eat all the food on our plate, to do more, especially for others. And yet that probably wasn't enough. And to get A's in school, and to be seen and not heard, and to make the lives of others easier. What this taught us was how to feel safe in this world. And we've taken this from our childhood, where it served us, and we copied and pasted this into our adulthood, and it isn't serving you anymore. It's actually hurting you at this point. When we believe these things, our nervous system goes into hyper micromanagement or fight or flight response. It's working really hard to control everything in your day-to-day environment, and things you probably don't actually need to control. But diet culture tells you that you need to control because you are out of control. None of that is true. Diet culture is anchored in somebody else's standards. Nobody asked you what you wanted. Nobody asked you how you wanted to feel. Nobody asked you if these foods actually feel good for you. They told you. But not one single person in this world can tell you what it's like to live in your body with your lived experience, except you. That's wisdom, my friend, that you can't get from a book, a diet, a pill, or a doctor. These two boxes here with diet culture and nervous system play off of each other. It's a vicious cycle of trying to micromanage and be perfect to fit into a box that somebody else told us we should look and feel like. We use our nervous system to try to get inside this box, but we can never actually get there because it wasn't meant for you. And every time we get into this dysregulation, we're pushing out stress hormones. Let me know if this is landing for you while I grab a drink. So we're using nervous system and stress hormones in a way that they're actually not meant to be used. And it's breaking down our bodies. And that's why we feel the way we do. The cortisol we create from diet culture and perfectionism slowly breaks down our body, creating hormonal imbalances, digestive issues, and chronic fatigue, which is why you're here today. The answer isn't more rules or strict following behaviors or structure. It's going within you and finding your answers. It's learning when your body is in a heightened nervous state and when it's not. Take a deep breath. How much of this sounds exactly like you? If you're thinking, oh my God, all of this makes sense. I'm starting to feel seen. I'm starting to feel understood. Let me know, because you're in the right place. This understanding of diet culture and the nervous system connection is foundational to everything we do inside my coaching program, Mindfully Well. So let's talk about the science behind why everything you've tried hasn't worked. Everything is rooted in two hormones, cortisol and insulin. When we talk about hormones, we love to go all the way to sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and we like to blame them, that they're the reasons that we feel the way we do. However, cortisol and insulin are the two guys that are really in charge of hormonal imbalance. And guess who's really in charge of these two guys? You. So cortisol is related to your nervous system, right? You probably know that by now. Cortisol also affects your blood sugar, what you eat, and your blood sugar is tied to insulin. So when insulin is imbalanced because blood sugar is high and low, that affects your nervous system. And your nervous system reacts to this. It's easy to think that blood sugar is just food related, but I want you to see it's also directly stress related. All three of these, nervous system, insulin, cortisol, nervous system, insulin, cortisol, they're all connected. And if you can look at this now, you can see that actually your hormones, the ones we want to blame, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and the ones that we want to micromanage and just like make these better so I feel better, that those actually haven't gone rogue. They didn't wake up deciding to create your problems. They didn't change dramatically just because of your age. They actually change dramatically due to how you're living your day-to-day life. Your hormones are responding to your environment, and your nervous system is taking in that environment, which includes blood sugar stability, aka what you eat. Your hormones are simply trying to get your attention through symptoms. So tell me where you're at so far, that your hormones aren't the problem. Does that start to make sense to you, that they're just the messenger and actually the control is right here for you? You are the one that gets to control the big guys that go over and communicate to the sex hormones that we want to blame for our problems: estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So let's talk about what this actually looks like in your actual day, because I want this to be very tangible and I want this to hit home for you. You wake up in the morning, you're tired. You hit snooze, you skip your workout because you tossed and turned all night and you slept through your workout. You probably grab some coffee because you're tired, but not breakfast because you're not hungry anyway. And you also, hey, you've heard fasting is good at some point in your life. And why would you waste calories when you're not actually hungry? But what this does is it calls on cortisol to get you through your morning, because your body can't just operate on nothing. It needs to operate on something. So in order to go get the something, it needs to call on cortisol to go find the something for you. So then late morning comes and now you're starving. You've also come off of your coffee high and the cortisol high, and you're starting to crash down, and you grab whatever's easy and fast and you scarf it down. You probably overeat because you were so hungry, you couldn't actually feel how quickly you were getting full. This was a reactive moment from a stressed body. And lunch was probably imbalanced from a blood sugar standpoint. So blood sugar spikes up high, and what goes up high quickly must come down quickly. And this feels like an emergency in your body. So again, your nervous system senses danger and it releases more cortisol. Your body seeks out sugar storage and brings it into your bloodstream because it feels like there's a lot of danger here. Things are not good. And this would be helpful if you were actually in danger, but you're sitting in your office and your body thinks you're incredibly stressed out because of how you were eating during the day and because of reading stressful emails or going to stressful meetings, and it's sensing danger, like your life is in danger, and you're not. You're using cortisol inappropriately, and this is just not a useful way to use your stress hormones. So blood sugar comes down and crashes about 3 p.m. after this lunch scenario, and you're going to feel tired. You're going to have intense sugar cravings. So you grab maybe the cookies in the break room or just whatever you can find to kind of satiate yourself and try to bridge yourself until you get home. But also let's add a latte on top of that to really get you through, because your kids have practice tonight too. And there's just a lot going on tonight. So we're going to get whatever we can to get us through the rest of the day. And this leads to another blood sugar spike and crash around 5 to 6 p.m., which is honestly the hardest part of your day. While you cooked dinner, you're going to eat snacks kind of around, just grab bits and pieces here and there. And you probably have somewhere to be, so you're trying to rush. And then by the time dinner's ready, you've probably out-snacked dinner, and then you're just not even hungry for dinner. So you go to do your evening activities, and then you get home, and now you're ferociously hungry. Or maybe you stayed home all night, and you kind of floated through until 7 or 8 p.m., and that pantry is speaking to you. And those cravings come back, and you graze the pantry, but you never truly feel satisfied. And you try to win against your cravings. You just wish that they weren't there. And you fight them until it's time to go to bed, whether you give in to them or whether you don't. But then when your head hits that pillow, you can't fall asleep. No matter what you do, you toss and turn, or maybe you do fall asleep and then you wake up at 2 a.m. And you repeat the same cycle again the next day. Here's what I want you to understand. This isn't laziness. This isn't a lack of willpower. This is your nervous system responding to a day that feels like survival. Your body has been depleted. Cortisol keeps spiking. Your energy bottoms out. Your mood swings hit. You're more reactive with your family because you feel like you're at the end of your rope, and you kind of are. You're wired from cortisol, but you're exhausted in your body. Can you see how this isn't about not having enough discipline? This is about trying to keep your body in a safe environment. And your environment that you're in, what you're showing the environment that you're in, your body is perceiving as threatening. Inside Mindfully Well, we work to create simple structures throughout your day and break this cycle and help your body start to feel safe. So I want to tell you about my client, Jennifer, who was stuck in this exact cycle. Before joining Mindfully Well, Jennifer felt out of control around food. It dictated her life choices and instead of her feeling in control over her food choices. She had tried keto, Whole30, macros, meal delivery programs, and nothing felt sustainable and nothing really stuck. She was always in the all or nothing cycle, and she felt like she had to be perfect or that she was a failure. She wanted more than a diet. She was realizing that this wasn't working for her. She wanted a deeper understanding of her body, her hormones, and her relationship with food. And after joining Mindfully Well, within 6 months, she lost 15 pounds, 11 inches, but more importantly, she felt stronger and she was in control. She developed that trust that we really want to have in ourselves. She stopped feeling controlled by food. She learned how to eat treats and go on vacation without guilt or spiraling. That was her big thing, is that vacation would always be the thing that set her off track. And when we gave her permission to fully enjoy her vacation without micromanaging things on vacation, and then realizing that she can't do that, and then saying, F it, I'm just going to eat whatever I want, YOLO, it's vacation, and then coming back and then not being able to get back into a routine. When we stopped doing that and we just went on vacation and we integrated the things that I taught her in Mindfully Well about blood sugar stability, about choosing your foods, about your hunger scale and your hormones and everything I'm going to teach you, then she used that on vacation. She enjoyed everything she wanted to enjoy, and she came back and she was just the same person, right? And she wasn't the person that went 12 steps backwards and had to get the momentum to start all over again. She had more energy, fewer cravings, no more sugar crashes or constant bloating. And she had the confidence in her ability to maintain results for like the rest of her life without the fear of falling off again. Jennifer really learned what we're talking about today, that the answer isn't more rules or restrictions. It's about creating safety in your body so you can trust yourself around food and allow it to be nourishing instead of punishing. So here's the bridge I really want you to see. Your freeze response, that inconsistency that you know that you have and that you wish would change, is actually your nervous system trying to find the safety we just want to have in our body. It's just doing it in a way that's not productive for you anymore. Or the fight or flight response, that other part of our nervous system, the one that goes, that can't let go of trying harder, is burning the candle at both ends, is actually your nervous system trying to find safety by overworking. It thinks you're in imminent danger for things that aren't actually danger. All states of the nervous system are your body trying to find safety. Your body loves you. Your body always has your back. Your body is fighting for you. If we can see our body with love and unconditional love, we can stop being so mad at our bodies for simply being a body and protecting us. What would it look like to actually give your body the safety it's been searching for without it feeling so hard and out of reach? So let's talk about the chalkboard and why we can't write over old programming and why this is such an important part of this process. We can't go to an old school chalkboard, right, back in the day, that has writing on it from the past 20 years. And we can't go over there and write over all of this chalk and understand what it says anymore. It's so messy. It's so dirty. I can write a word on there, but you can't make it out anymore because there's so much stuff on there and it's already there. That stuff is already there. And we're trying to write over top of it. And it's going to look messy and it's going to be confusing if we do that. What we need is to wipe that slate clean. We can't implement new healthy habits, which are rooted in the new belief about you and your ability to create health, until we decondition the past beliefs about perfectionism, rules, weight loss, small bodies, and being wrong, so we can develop what we really want in our bodies. Does this make sense? Is this starting to kind of drop in? Like, do you feel it in your body? Like, oh, like an aha moment. That makes a lot of sense. When I try to copy and paste something to my life, I'm just making more messes. What I really need to do is go to why this is happening in the first place. I need to clean this chalkboard off so I can write some new write some new rights, write some new words, write some new thoughts, write what I want, who I want to be, really define that for myself. And it's not being written over old beliefs. We can't create new beliefs when all those old ones are still there. We got to work through them. Here's something crucial. We can't think our way through this anymore. You've been following what other people have been telling you what to do, go all in for a month or two, and then stop, and then just hyper focus on checking boxes, doing the tasks, or trying to just change your thoughts, right? Isn't it interesting how we've tried to outthink the body when all of this change happens in the body? We've left the body out of the conversation. No wonder the world is lost on how to generate true, authentic health. Our body is full of wisdom. Our bodies have ancestors, our bodies have answers from our ancestors. DNA that was given to us with so many answers. But we actually never access the answers within our body. And if we do, or we try, we think it's wrong. That means decoding the symptoms, understanding the feelings you have, understanding what tension feels like in your body, what ease feels like in your body, what fatigue feels like in your body, what rest feels like, what excitement feels like, what focus feels like. All of those things you desire and are trying to find by thinking your way through we actually need to feel our way through. Let me paint you a picture of what's possible when your body and your nervous system are regulated. You wake up feeling rested and ready. You're more likely to do the movement that feels good for you. Maybe that's building muscle, supporting your body, or maybe it's restorative that day. And if that's what you need. And here's the thing about restorative movement, you know how to trust your body to decide what movement you need that day. You're going to grab something nourishing for your first meal in the morning that's blood sugar stable. And then the rest of the day, you have accurate hunger and fullness cues. You choose meals you've thought about ahead of time. You feel hungry when you feel hungry. It's not confusing. You feel satisfied when when your body is satisfied, and it's not confusing. You're not on a roller coaster all day long of energy highs and lows, mood highs and lows. You have clear thoughts and make intentional decisions. Your mood is stable. You're conscious and not reactive. And if you become reactive, because you're also still going to be a human, you're aware of it. And you're able to shift out of that reactive state instead of staying in it all day long and feeling miserable. You pick up your kids, and it's not a mess at the end of the day. And then you go to bed and you fall asleep and you stay asleep. Everything I teach is rooted in the act of love and self-love with body safety. I want you to realize that self-love isn't guilty or selfish. Love is how your body feels safe. When you love and care for yourself first, you're not taking away from anybody else. When you love yourself unconditionally, all of your actions make sense. And they are actions that allow your body to feel safe. In order to have this safe body that we want to have, we've got to start with love. And it's the missing ingredient from everything else out there. You get to just trust yourself. You don't second guess everything. You have the innate wisdom, authority, and the agency you really want in your life. Your body also feels safe, which allows you to feel grounded and clear in just being you. Love equals safety. Love is not selfish. Love allows you to expand. When you do this, you simply become more of you. And the world needs you. We hide so deeply within our bodies because we're scared of feeling them. We're scared of loving ourselves. But the truth is, you are already unconditionally loved and worthy of unconditional love. If you can show yourself that unconditional love, you become more of you, and the world only benefits. We as women in the Western world feel that if we don't give first, that someone is in lack because of us. But the truth is, when you give to yourself first, you win and the world wins. This is the foundation of self-love and safety within the nervous system. And we build all of this together inside Mindfully Well. So I want you to hear a little bit about Molly and her transformation. Molly was doing all the right things. She worked out every day. She tried to eat really well. She even experimented with different diets. She did all the protein, the Herbalife, supplements. No matter what she did, she was actually actively gaining weight instead of losing it. She felt bloated every single day, struggled with a lot of fatigue, her energy crashed a lot. She relied on coffee throughout the day. And she actually had followed me for over a year before joining. And then after trying so many things, she started to believe nothing would actually work for her. But what she didn't know was that her gut was not in great shape. Her hormones all over the place. And her stress levels were really holding her back from even acknowledging any of these things, even being aware about how poor her digestion was or how imbalanced her hormones were. Her body wasn't broken. Her body was trying to tell her something from all of these symptoms. However, her stress was so high, she couldn't even hear it or know that that was going on until we sat down and we really hashed it out. What's really going on with this body of yours? After working just a few months together, she lost 12 pounds easily. She no longer felt stuck in her weight. No more daily bloating. Her digestion became very comfortable and at ease. Her afternoon crashes disappeared. She cut out most of her coffee. Coffee was just at a point of enjoyment, not a point of survival. She felt calmer, more patient, less reactive to her kids. And she finally understood her body and knew exactly how to fuel herself and maintain her progress. Molly discovered what you're discovering today, and that's the answer isn't more information or strict rules. It's about creating that internal safety and trust within our body. Now, I want to talk to you about something that's very important and why focus works, and while trying to do this alone keeps you stuck. When you're in a program, when you're in a container, you naturally create focus. That's why you're here this week, right? You joined Body Wisdom Week to create a focus point to focus on you and your health. And when you do this, you're going to create space to develop the feelings that you want in your body. But when we go out and we try to do this on our own, we're working against our mind and the beliefs that are there already. And those guys are going to bring you down and keep you stuck. Because the truth is that you can't see the label when you're inside the bottle. You can't see the forest when you're standing right in front of the tree. And this is one of the hardest things that you'll do, even though it's very simple. It's hard because we're fighting against what our body currently believes to be true right now, even though it's no longer serving us. So what we need is a pattern erupt. What we need is a container where we can fully focus and create transformation. Otherwise, we go out there and we're still the same humans we were before this week, creating the same patterns over and over again, feeling confused on why nothing actually changes. We need pattern interrupt. To have this pattern interrupt, we have to create space and focus for this process to happen. Without it, you'll find yourself frustrated, confused, and falling back into old patterns, right? We've done this before. We've lived this before. It's not new. And if you're here, it's because you don't want to repeat that pattern anymore. I want you to see that there's so much more available to you than the old patterns you've been living in. And I want you to be clear about something that when working with me, that this is just not another generic copy and paste thing. This is not something that is easy to find out there because, to be honest, the world profits off of you staying where you are. However, my program does not profit off of you staying where you are. My program profits by you becoming the transformative woman you really want to be, emerging as being more of who you already are, and producing in a way that feels truly like you. Let that be a breath of fresh air, right? If we know that there are other things out there that are created to keep us stuck in where we are, we know we can find a way out of it by not repeating those patterns anymore. I'm not here to reinforce what the world has taught you about what's wrong with you. I'm here to do something different with you. I'm here to make sure you are truly the most authentic version of you. The way we do that is getting you to feel like the body you are in belongs to you. The only way you get to be on this earth is in this body. And the only way you get to fulfill your purpose on this earth is with this body. We can't be afraid of being in our body anymore. So I want to tell you about my coaching program, the Mindfully Well coaching program. It's a 4-month program that's designed to take you exactly from where you are today into feeling completely at home and at ease in your body. This, again, is not about restriction, meal plans, counting macros. This is about nervous system regulation, hormone balance, and developing unshakable trust in yourself and your body. It's about becoming the woman who naturally makes choices that support her health because that's who she is, not because she's forcing herself to follow rules. Mindfully Well combines the nervous system regulation, blood sugar stability, and hormonal balance that we talked about today with the deconditioning work that helps you trust yourself again. We implement simple science-based structures throughout your day while we unwire the perfectionism, the diet culture beliefs that have kept you stuck in the past. Oops, there we go. And we break through the barriers that have kept you small and have allowed you to feel safe for that time, but have never really brought you to truly feeling like your body. I knew my dogs were gonna bark. Hold on. All right, I'm still here. Sorry, dogs will be dogs. That's what happens when you work at home. Okay, so what makes this difference? There's 4 pillars of transformation, all based in safety within the body. Because when your body feels safe, it does what you want it to do. How simple is that? First, nervous system regulation. We start here because nothing else works if your nervous system is dysregulated. You'll learn to recognize when you're in fight or flight or freeze and how to return to a calm state. We can't skip this step. This is the step that's always been missed and why we are always back at the beginning. And second, blood sugar stability. We create simple, sustainable eating patterns that keep your energy steady all day. We don't have to count calories or follow meal plans. Eating doesn't have to be complex, strict, or have a ton of structure to work. It just needs to send the right signals to your body that you're safe. And this is the missing point of nutrition for everyone after 35. Everything that is targeted to you is using restriction. And we use nourishment and safety and everything changes. And if you've ever wanted to be an intuitive or mindful eater and thinking that would never be possible, this is actually how it happens in the healthiest way for your body. It's easy to think an intuitive eater, like there's no way, how do I be an intuitive eater with all the sugar in this world and all the processed foods? But there is a way to do this by being very healthy in our bodies. And then third, hormone optimization. When your nervous system is dysregulated and when your nervous system is regulated, and blood sugar is stable, your hormones naturally come into balance. Now your symptoms are improving. Okay, good. That's just questions and answers. I was like, oh, something's gone wrong. Now your symptoms are improving, you're sleeping, you're energized, your mood is stable, your digestion improves, your mind is clear, and then your body composition naturally improves as well. And then fourth, embodied living. This is where you develop deep trust in your body's wisdom and learn to live from a place of inner knowing. You'll leave behind the strict rules, the all or nothing thinking, the perfectionism, the guilt, and the fear-based actions of sabotage. So what do you get inside Mindfully Well? You're going to get 4 months of simple step-by-step guidance delivered through our private portal. No overwhelm, no information overwhelm or overload, just the strategies that actually work in the right order at the right time, because overwhelm serves no one. We have live weekly group coaching calls where you can get your specific questions answered and feel completely supported, work through challenges, and celebrate wins with the community. And when we do this, we create more of the right energy to create positive changes in our bodies and our lives. There's also a private community of women on the same journey as you, which is one of the most supportive communities you'll find. This is a curated space for support, accountability, and connection with women who truly understand what you're going through. Again, however, without overwhelm millions of messages and trying to keep your head above water in a group chat. That's not what this is about. You're also going to get weekly private check-ins and support through our platform. And you're going to be able to ask questions, share your wins, work through challenges with me and my team, and you're never truly alone in this process. You also have a resource library with all the stuff that you need if you're looking for navigation or things like that. It's just like a personal reference for day-to-day life stuff. We also have integration workshops, right? So how to actually work through stress, sleep optimization. We have breathwork sessions. We have meditations. We have intuitive movement. All of this is just bonuses within the program to help you feel more at home in your body. And here's what makes this really special. This work is designed to last a lifetime. You're not learning temporary strategies. You're rewiring your relationship with your body at the deepest level. And this will serve you for the rest of your life. And for women who want to go deeper, I offer VIP, which is everything in the main program. Plus, you can get a functional lab test. And that can be a hormone test and/or a gut test, depending on what your body needs right now. Personalized protocol based on your lab test, your symptoms, and your goals. This isn't generic. This is taking your unique situation with data from your lab and creating a healing protocol for you. And then private messaging with me throughout the program for real-time support and guidance. And then one private 30-minute coaching call in the midpoint of the program to ensure progress is being made so we can adjust anything on your protocol so we can get you on that full, complete healing journey. We'll also do some somatic and mindset coaching to ensure that your nervous system is responding to the tools that you've been given. And that way, when you're on your own, you're very grounded and certain on what works well for you and your body. So who is this for? This is for if you're tired of starting over every Monday, you want to break the cycle of good all week and blow it on the weekends, you're ready to stop micromanaging every bite and start trusting your body's wisdom. You want to address the root cause of why you feel this way: the fatigue, the lack of energy, the sleep, the unexplained weight gain, the brain fog, the bloating, not just symptom management with another Band-Aid. And remember, Band-Aids don't stay on, right? They never have. You go wash your hands and the Band-Aids are off. We're not about Band-Aid approaches here. And you're willing to do the inner work along with the practical strategies because lasting change requires both of these. And you want support and community, not another program, or to do this in isolation, or a general macro check-in with a coach asking for half-naked photos of you and what you weighed this morning, only to tell you to work harder. No, thank you. We're not up for that. That is not what your unique, beautiful body needs. It needs love, compassion, and safety. This program, to be completely honest, is not for you if you want a quick fix or a 30-day transformation. This is deep, lasting work, and that takes time. You want someone to tell you exactly what to eat and when. We're moving away from external rules into internal wisdom. and you're not ready to examine your relationship with perfectionism and control. This work requires looking at the deeper patterns, which can sometimes be uncomfortable. And you want to focus only on weight loss. Weight may be a change that happens with a side effect, but our focus is on how you feel in your body. So I want you to take a deep breath and let that really land. You don't have to lose weight to feel better. Losing weight is not an expectation of this program. Let that go. It feels so good to let that go, to let that not be a thing that is constantly on your mind, the thing that you have the least control over. Let that be a beautiful side effect of creating safety in this body. I want to talk about timing for a moment because you might be thinking, I'll start this in a month, or I'll wait until after the holidays, or I'll wait until I have more time. But here's what I know after working with thousands of women, there is no perfect time. Life doesn't pause for your transformation. In fact, waiting for a better time puts you in a position to work in ideal circumstances. Possibly, probably never actually happens anyway. But that's anything but ideal to work in ideal circumstances when you want true lasting changes. We have to learn to do this when life is messy. That's when sustainability is actually developed. What's the cost of waiting another 4 months? What's the cost of waiting another year? How will you feel next year at this time if nothing changes? And I want you to ask yourself that. What really happens if nothing changes? And I hope that scares the shit out of you. I hope you realize that this is the time you've signed up for this week, and let this be the sign that you've been asking for, that there is a better way. The thing about nervous system work, the sooner you start this, the sooner you feel better. Why would we wait to feel better? So let's talk about the investment and the bonuses for this Body Wisdom Week. So the investment for Mindfully Well, the normal price is $2,394, and VIP is normally $999. But because you're here this week during the Momentum Event Week, you can join for $1,500. That's a savings of $894 off the main program. Or you can join VIP, you can join VIP for $777, and that's $222 off of the VIP price. Plus, you get that functional lab test in there. That's already included in the pricing, the personalized protocol, the one-on-one messaging, and the up level of support. So by joining during Body Wisdom Week, you're going to save over $1,100. So I want to speak to something that that's already stirring in your body right now, and what you might be feeling in your body when you hear the price. You're either thinking, that's it, there's no way that something at that price could deliver on what she says. Or it's the opposite. That's too much. I can't make it work. Either way, I want you to pause and notice what's happening, not in your thoughts, but in your body. A voice of doubt, a tightening in your chest, swirling in your stomach. It's not actually about the number. It's easy to associate it with the number, but it's what we're making the number mean. It's your nervous system doing its job, trying to protect you from disappointment, from past investments that didn't work, from the fear that maybe you'll fail again. But here's the truth. It's not always about whether the program is worth it. It's often about whether you believe you're worth it. And if you've felt that tension before, if you've told yourself, I don't follow through, I always give up, it never works for me, I want you to see those thoughts as they are. Old beliefs that have kept you safe, but also stuck. So as you hear the options, and we're not asking for a fast yes here, I'm inviting you to slow down, to listen for what's underneath that fear, to ask your body, not the fear, is this a full body yes or a full body no? I want to be transparent. When enrollment closes on the 24th, it goes back to regular pricing. You won't miss out on anything you need to succeed, by joining today versus next week. But enrollment does close and VIP is limited. I can't take an unlimited VIP. I'm one person. And so I will close enrollment on the 24th. The pricing goes away. Enrollment is closed. So I can welcome the new clients in a very calm and focused way. However, I also offer payment plans because I do want this work to be accessible. So for the main program, you can also do 4 payments of $399. Remember, this is an investment in yourself that pays dividends for the rest of your life. When you feel at home in your body, when you trust yourself, when you have steady energy and clear thinking, how does that actually impact all areas of your life? Right? Because let's be honest, on things that you've probably spent that didn't deliver. Gym memberships you didn't use, supplements that promised to fix your problems, meal delivery services, weight loss programs, shakes, personal trainers, nutritionists, maybe even medical tests and treatments. And I'm guessing it's all added up and you've easily already spent thousands of dollars trying to feel better in your body. And diet culture will continue to reinforce that that's what you need to do. And yet here you are, still searching for the answer. So can you see how those actually weren't a fit for what you want in your body? All those things were trying to fix you. You don't need to be fixed. You need to become more of you. And we do this by changing your relationship with your body and your nervous system. So let's talk about some success stories, right? I talked about Jennifer, I talked about Molly, and here are a few more transformations and testimonials. Also, if you go to my website, mindfullywell.com, there is a tab that says testimonials. You can read through all the testimonials of clients who've already worked with me and created the success that you're looking for. But the overall theme of testimonials and success is just how at home they feel in their body and how strong they feel and how easy it is actually to feel this way in your body. So your next step, if this is resonating with you, is you have 2 options. First, you can schedule a clarity call with me. On this call, we'll talk about where you are right now, where you want to be, and whether Mindfully Well is the right fit for you. We'll also discuss whether the main program or the VIP would serve you best. And I'll be completely transparent about whether you need functional lab testing or not, or if the main program would be a perfect fit for you. I want you to know that these are clarity calls. They're not high pressure sales conversations. I don't do those. My goal is to help you get clear on your next best step and to come to a decision, which is the most powerful thing you can do. Own your decision, whether that's with me or without me. So clarity calls are going to be available through Wednesday, September 24, and you can schedule that at the link in the chat, which Kelsey will put in there. However, not everyone needs a clarity call. It's there if you want to feel more grounded in your decision, if you want to talk to me first, I totally get that. However, if you're already a full body yes, girl, go for it. Own your decision, practice hearing your body, take that step forward to feeling authentically in your body and trusting it. It's so good to feel good. So the link to either join or schedule that clarity call are in the chat. And 10 spots are open for VIP, and those 10 spots will easily be gone soon. So if you're like, oh, I think I want that, but I'm going to wait, you might miss out on VIP. You won't miss out on the main program, but you might miss out on VIP. So I just want to be completely transparent with that. All right, so I want to do some, I'm going to do some questions. Here we go. Okay. I'm looking for a quicker fix. I'm so glad you're honest. That is great. Okay. What are the HRT options that you were suggesting? Been there, done that, did not end up well for you. I don't have HRT options. So I am a coach, so I don't do HRT, but I will help you with food and stress, which flow over into your sex hormones. So that's where HRT is typically going to go. It's going to give you estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, but we don't do that in this program. We work holistically with food, nutrition, and stress. You consider health conditions like osteoporosis. I'm not sure what you're asking, so if you want to re-ask that. Trish, is it possible to be too far gone? Absolutely not. You are here alive in a physical body typing on Zoom. Definitely not. No. But when you can't do that stuff anymore, you can't come to a Zoom call, you can't scroll online, you can't do those kinds of things. You probably, right? But if you showed up today, you signed up for the call, like, no, you're not too far gone. But if you want to stay in that mindset, yeah, probably, I'm going to be completely honest, is that when we see ourselves as victims within our own circumstances, it's really hard to make change. So Trish, I really encourage you to be looking at how you're seeing this as happening to you versus for you. For pre-existing conditions and medications, I do that for VIP because if we are doing lab testing, I do want to know what is currently going on with your medical history. So, okay, we got through those questions. Anybody else have questions? Go ahead and put them in the chat. I will leave this up for just a little bit longer. Let me see here. Okay, there we go. As we close this out, let me see here. Yes, I love all these answers. Beautiful. Okay, so as we close this out, what I want you to do is we really want to thank ourselves for showing up for us today. So I want you to put a hand on a heart and take a nice, slow, deep breath. And I want you to say to your body, thank you. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for showing up for me today. Thank you to my body for allowing me to hear things that I wanted to hear, needed to hear, or were hard to hear. Thank you for holding me as I learned new ways to care for myself. And thank you for reminding me that healing isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about listening, and it's about responding. And a nice big breath in and all the way out. Beautiful. All right, my friends, what will we be doing tomorrow? Great question. So I will go live in the Circle community at 11:30. Tomorrow we are talking about hunger and appetite, and we are bringing blood sugar stability in there as well. We'll be doing a giveaway as well tomorrow. And so, yeah, join me over there. We got lots of things going on. We have every single day I'll be going live in there to help you actually implement what we're learning. You'll actually get a chance to start the first 30 days of the Mindfully Well program, which is week 0, which will help you build that mind-body connection. So if you're wanting to take this practice deeper and start to understand what I'm talking about when I say mind-body connection, that will be in there. And on Sunday, I'm excited for this part, is that we are going to have a closing ceremony for Body Wisdom Week, and we're going to do active breath work in that session. So that will be a beautiful way to close out our week together and to just energetically close it out together. The recording will go through email, and it will go on the Circle community, and it will live there until the 24th. And then it will be in your email shortly after this. Okay. I think I got through everyone. That looks great. So if you have other questions, make sure to post them in the Circle community. I will be in there all week. I will answer your questions, concerns, everything that you need to know there. I hope to see you all on my schedule for a clarity call very soon and to welcome you into the program. All right, my friends, you have a good rest of your Monday. Bye-bye.